In the harsh winter of 1943, the skies over Western Europe were filled with the smoke of clouds and the fire of war, and within this chaotic blue expanse flew a young German air recon pilot, Lieutenant Helena Weiss, slicing through the icy wind in her Messerschmitt aircraft. The morning sun, hiding behind the clouds like a wounded soldier, trembled faintly, and its pale rays turned the thin layer of frost on Helena's cockpit glass into shining, transparent crystal fragments. Far below, the black lines of mountains and forests spread across the snow like the long, cold breath of the earth. The air was so piercing that every vibration of the engine traveled straight into Helena's bones. She knew that today's mission would not be easy. She had to photograph enemy movements, and British Spitfires patrolled this region constantly. Yet her eyes had the same calm, sharp, unshaken light that her comrades called the flame of the sky, a confidence born not only from experience, but from courage. She bent down to check the camera recorder settings when suddenly a sharp voice cracked through the radio as if someone had ripped open the chest of the wind. "Helena, be advised, we see 2 enemy signatures moving toward your sector." Helena immediately looked behind, and through the hazy sky 2 fast silver-gray Spitfires emerged, smoke trailing from their noses, their wings slicing the air as they rushed straight toward her. Her heartbeat raced in a single instant, and without wasting a moment she pushed her aircraft into a steep dive. Gravity slammed her back into the seat, and the engine screamed around her like a bolt of lightning. The sharp sounds of bullets tore through the air around her, and metal began to sizzle outside the cockpit. Helena clenched her teeth, gripped the controls tightly, and veered her aircraft into a thick curtain of clouds. Inside, the light was dim, hollow, and shifting. She gained a few seconds, just a few. She held her breath and pulled the aircraft upward, but the Spitfires followed her like shadows, climbing with the same deadly precision. Every gust of wind was against her. Every cloud was like a mirror from which the enemy's wings flashed back at her. Then suddenly an explosion, loud, echoing, shaking the machine violently. Flames burst from her left engine. Warning lights began to blink with a dangerous red urgency. The aircraft refused to obey her commands, like a wounded beast that wanted only to fall. Her breath caught, her stomach dropped, and before her, a forest blanketed with snow opened up like a vast mouth ready to swallow her whole. The crash was so fierce that her ears began to ring and the world slowly darkened around her. When she regained consciousness, she found herself half buried in the snow, not even an arm's length away from a twisted, broken, ice-covered piece of the wing. Waves of pain throbbed in her head, but as her eyes opened, the first thing she saw was the sky, the same sky she had been flying in just minutes ago, now seeming far above and far away. Snow was falling silent and merciless, and through that white descent, 4 armed British soldiers in heavy black coats slowly approached her. The sound of their boots sinking into the snow created a heavy, cold thud. Their faces were exhausted, but their eyes held the hard vigilance of war. Helena tried to stand, but pain surged through her leg, and she collapsed to her knees again. One soldier shouted loudly, "Don't move, hands where I can see them." Her frozen breath formed small, fading clouds in the air, and though her heart was pounding, her eyes still held that same firmness, that same tearless resolve. One soldier came close, bent down, and lifted her dog tags with his gloved fingers. His brows tightened slightly, and he said in a grave tone, "Luftwaffe pilot. Looks like she survived a hell of a crash." He then told the others that they had to take her to the main camp. The command would certainly want to question her. Helena was lifted to her feet, surrounded by a tightening circle of rifles and heavy coats, and she felt the snow crunch beneath her boots with every step. She was no longer a pilot of the sky. She was a prisoner, another story of the war, another flame caught in the storm. Yet her eyes rose one last time toward the sky where she had been flying before she fell. There was nothing there now, only quiet white snow and infinite cold. But the fire within her still burned, the fire of a pilot who does not fall in defeat, but only bends before circumstances and walks toward the next chapter.